Incredible though it may seem, part of southern England actually came under direct German assault in World War II. I'm not talking about the Battle of Britain or the Blitz, but direct artillery fire. German artillery, positioned just across the English Channel in France, could fire directly into a part of Kent, quickly dubbed Hellfire Corner. British, not to be outdone, fired back into the Pas de Calais in a mad big gun duel that lasted until after D-Day. When the Germans captured the French coast in summer 1940, preparations were underway for Operation Sea Lion, the invasion of England. Hitler directed that large coastal batteries be established to protect the flank of the invasion from interference from the warships of the Royal Navy. At Cap Gris-Nez, Batterie Todt was established, 4 380mm or 15-inch naval guns in huge concrete casemates. Nearby were other equally intimidating batteries. The largest were the so-called Adolf guns, 3 406mm or 16-inch naval guns in 13-foot thick concrete blockhouses on the beach at Cap Gris-Nez. Each shell fired weighed 1 ton, and the guns could hit targets 34 miles away. The English Channel, at its narrowest point, is only 22 miles wide. The Germans emplaced 4 more guns around the port of Calais and 3 305mm naval guns near Boulogne, with a 32-mile range. The Calais region was further reinforced with 8 massive railway guns and 40 army siege pieces. For the people of the town of Dover, already living under repeated Luftwaffe air raids, a new threat emerged on the morning of the 12th of August 1940, when a massive German artillery shell landed in the town, damaging 4 houses. The British could shoot back thanks to enormous gun batteries of their own. A spare 14-inch naval gun from the King George V class battleships had been installed in July. Stukas attempted to disrupt construction work during the Battle of Britain, bombing the batteries. British anti-aircraft fire shot down 2 of the attackers. The gun was quickly named Winnie, in honour of Prime Minister Winston Churchill. A network of above-ground and underground buildings and a small railway backed up the gun. Winnie could lob a shell 1,590 pounds or 721 kilos up to 27 miles or 43 kilometres. For the Germans, Dover and its environs remained their main target, and both sides targeted merchant ships in the Channel as well. Shelling and aerial bombing caused extensive damage. Unlike in air raids, when sirens had sounded and planes could be heard approaching, the shells arrived at very high speeds.
I can usually hear Jerry leaving the other side. We watch out for him. And as for the shells, well, we see a flash. Count 60. There she is.
The British emplaced another heavy gun in February 1941 that they nicknamed Pooh, and Winnie and Pooh were very popular with the newsreel cameramen of the day. Newer 15-inch guns at the Wanstone battery behind the White Cliffs of Dover could hit German ships, whereas Winnie and Pooh traversed too slowly to engage moving targets. Like the Germans, the British also employed some World War I-era 13.5-inch railway guns hidden in a railway tunnel. They would roll out, fire, and then duck back into cover before the Germans opened up. Later in the war, the Germans conceived of a more advanced and deadly form of cross-channel gun, the V3 cannon. But more about that weapon, designed to target London, in another episode. The worst attack on Dover came in September 1944, after Calais was isolated and placed under siege by Allied forces advancing from Normandy. The Calais batteries, unable to traverse onto land targets and the city, instead fired off as much of their ammunition as possible against Dover. On the 3rd of September, a long gun battle developed with the One-Stone battery. Germans failed to destroy the gun, but did manage to level all the adjacent buildings. By the 29th of September, Canadian forces had fought into Calais. In a final defiant gesture, the Cap Greenet batteries fired 50 shells at Dover before being overrun. Interestingly, the commander of the Canadian 3rd Infantry Division sent the German flag from the Todt battery to the mayor of Dover. Between 1940 and 1944, the German batteries fired 2,226 shells at Dover, killing 216 civilians and causing damage to over 10,000 properties.
Dover is sticking it by a marvellous communal spirit. Everyone helps. The fire service is strong and efficient. The warden delivers the meat, the fruiterer is a policeman, the news agent runs the first aid, the shop assistant drives an ambulance. The key of Britain is strong because its people are strong. The fact that they look across at Germany doesn't scare them a bit. Let war-scarred Dover have the last word. Well, Mrs. McEwen, are you leaving Dover?
What? For that rat Hitler? No fear. If they want us to go, they've got to throw us out. But still, you're wasting my time. I've got my dinner to cook. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also help support my channel at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.